Welcome everybody to a new episode of Savage Crypto. Here with me, your superhero of money, the Superman. In today's video, I'm going to be exploring the question, is this crypto coin a guaranteed moonshot? Is this cryptocurrency going to be making you savage cash? And the cryptocurrency I'm going to be talking about is this one, Linear. Now, if you have seen my cryptocurrency video from the other day, then I talked about Linear in very minute detail. Really, I was speaking about the staking rewards. So what I'm going to be doing in this episode is I'm going to be fully educating you on what Linear is, because if you've taken a look at Linear, you may be slightly confused about what it is, you may be slightly confused about why you're investing in it, and you may also be confused as to what are the positives, negatives of this investment, and what should you be looking out for. So that's what I'm going to be doing in today's Savage Crypto episode. As I always do, I'm going to look at the positives, the investable traits of the cryptocurrency, the negatives, what you may want to consider when investing or thinking of investing, and then my personal final rating and what I plan to do regarding this particular cryptocurrency. Now, before I get into that, I thought I would just touch base on what's happening in the crypto landscape. Let me just check that I'm live. I is live, although it's saying, although it's got an orange line, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going it's not smooth. Don't understand why. Anyway, so if you have been looking at the market recently, crypto goes down, but it goes up again. Now, recently the market cap, only at the beginning of this month, was at near $400 billion. Today, it is closer to $300 billion. And you will have seen, if you've got a portfolio on your mobile, like Delta, for instance, then you will have seen that your portfolio value is massively down. By the way, don't forget to smash up the likes if you haven't already. Smash them up. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes on this particular stream. Now, let me just give you a little bit of a commentary of what I actually see happening right now. So, looking at the Bitcoin chart, and I'm looking all the way back to kind of the latter end of last year, is you will see that Bitcoin had a nice rise at the beginning of the year, and then in March, it significantly dumped. Now, most of the market significantly dumped at this point. And then it went back up again, and then it had a spike, like a breakout here. It then was kind of consolidating at this point, and then it broke down, and now it, after consolidating, going up and then going down again, it's showing some weird volatility. Now, let me show you something you may not have considered. This is the chart of the US dollar. Now, what strikes you about this? What strikes me about this is that it is basically inversely correlated with Bitcoin. So, as the dollar price appreciates, Bitcoin and other stocks and indexes go down. So, it's not just Bitcoin. So, if you just have a look here, Bitcoin, it went down in kind of mid-ish March. And as you can see, the dollar went up at exactly the same time. Now, at the moment, and you have the equivalent break down in the dollar price when the price of Bitcoin broke out. So at the moment, what we've got is we have got the dollar actually breaking out. It's like, this is a consolidation. It's like breaking out of there. And as it's doing that, the various stock markets are down. Let me just show you the various charts. So this is gold. Again, you can see March, it went down significantly as the dollar went up. And then it rose high, and then as the dollar has now appreciated, basically the gold price has gone significantly down. And you can see the same with the the S&P 500. You can see the exact same with the Dow Jones. You can see the exact same with the Nasdaq. You can see the same with UK. Basically, all markets are down as the dollar is up. So the dollar seems to be the best indicator at the moment as to what's going to happen. Now, hopefully, with a new stimulus in the US, this would make the dollar value go down as they look to essentially supercharge the economy again. That tends to be what happens in order to make the dollar price goes down. So we have to wait and see, because it's going to be October the 9th that there's going to be a decision on whether there's going to be a new stimulus package. So I thought I would just kind of let you know about that, because this will give you an indication of what you should be looking at. There's a lot of people probably doing charting and stuff and not looking at the wider macro picture, I suppose. So, on to Linear. So Linear, if you watched my video the other day, Linear was at 1.2 cents at that point. It then shot up to 2.3 cents, so essentially 2x from the point I spoke about in the video last Friday. And by the way, give props, I reckon, to the fact I've made 2 videos in 1 week. A month of nothing, and now 2 videos in 1 week. Are you feeling spoiled? So anyway, this went up to 2.3 cents, and it has since kind of, I suppose it's kind of tempered down a little bit, and now it's sitting at 1.7 cents. This could actually signify a perfect point at which to get into it. So I'm going to be talking to you about this cryptocurrency, because it isn't easy to grasp, okay? So we're going to do it in Savage Crypto style. Make sure you pay attention, because this could be an incredible investment. So, Linear.finance. What is it in a nutshell? Essentially, it is a DEX for synthetic assets, okay? This is within the DeFi category. Now, if you don't know what synthetic assets are, you're not the first person. In fact, to be honest, I say there was a very small percentage of people that are confused by it or find it ambiguous and don't understand what it means. So I am going to allay your fears and the gaps in your knowledge with this video. So this isn't financial advice. Please do your own research as usual. Okay, this is just my personal opinion and findings. So first, Lena token is what it's called. So the positives. What are the positives? First of all, it is decentralizing a centralized service. Okay, a service offered by corporate banks and is worth quadrillions of dollars. I'm telling you that although at a retail level, the knowledge gap is so wide with regards to synthetic assets, the actual trading of assets, and I'm talking about the whole mix, stocks, derivatives, commodities, everything, this is provided by the central bank structure. Okay, now decentralized finance, if you've taken my cryptocurrency course, link is in the description, by the way, and understand what DeFi is essentially a way of opening up finance to all. Don't look at DeFi as just pure yield farming and making money. It's also, the wider picture is opening finance to all, which central banks actually have a high barrier to entry. So this is decentralizing it, it's disrupting it, and I'm going to talk more about that in the future. But essentially, it is decentralizing asset trading, okay, and all those various asset classes I just spoke about. Now, this is giving exposure. Okay, this is what's so great about DeFi, is that it's giving exposure to people who would not ordinarily have exposure. Okay, so it's exposure to the traditional assets. It's exposure to the price of oil, the price of gold, the price of Tesla, the price of Google. This is a way of getting exposure. Now, what the liquid is, what synthetic is, essentially, is a replicated, backed version of the real asset. Okay, so it replicates it in value, it replicates it in price action. So it is in essence owning it and owning the price action of it without having to actually own the physical stock of it. Okay, holding actual Tesla stock. You are trading the prices. So it's exposure of traditional assets for all. Now, if that does not prick your ears up, I don't know what will. Now, in Lena's case, they are making, you can see this weird L font, okay? They are making liquid versions of everything, okay? So you're going to see more about that now. So the type of assets are commodities, which is, billions of dollars. Billions of dollars is trading in commodities, crude oil, etc. Derivatives. This is a huge quadrillion dollar industry, okay? This is options, futures, all these various kind of non-tradable assets that you will be able to trade on the Linear exchange. ETFs, baskets of assets, stocks, traditional stocks, forex, and cryptocurrency. So you are going to be able to trade every single asset, really, but a liquid version. But nonetheless, it will, whether or not it's like liquid version, it's still the same price action. It's still the same prices. It's replicated. Now, the whole reason about decentralizing this is because it cuts out the middleman. Now, although it opens it out to all, at the top end of the scale, at the wealthy end of the scale, this is a service provided by banks. And if you are a wealthy investor, you want to start trading in various asset classes, you have got to pay the bank for the service. Okay, the bank is the middleman. Okay, and there are fees involved in that. So with the decentralization of this process, it cuts out the middleman. It basically makes the only fee the actual network, the blockchain fee. Okay, so it takes out these large centralized fees. This is how the banks have been allowed to rule the planet and make money. This is how. And this is how we take it away. So it's major disruption in the DeFi space. And what Linea are going to be using is they're going to be using Binance Smart Chain. So at the moment it's Ethereum based. They're going to be transitioning to Binance Smart Chain. So essentially it brings down the fees and it brings up the transactions per second. Now, why I really like Linea is because of pure gains potential. Okay, it has very disruptive. It's got very disruptive traits, but the gains potential is there. Now, it's not the only cryptocurrency that has survived in synthetic assets. Synthetics, if you have heard of it, I touched on it in my last video. Synthetics is currently the number 40 cryptocurrency out of all 7,000 cryptocurrencies. So it shows that there is interest in this field. Okay, now synthetics is currently $4.10. That means it's got a market cap of about $410 million or thereabouts. And at this present time, Linea is only, and it doesn't show this on CoinMarketCap, but you're finding it out here, Linea is only $4.5 million in market cap. $4.5 million compared to synthetics of $410 million, right? Plus they have the incredible staking rewards. Now currently, the other day it was 1,600% in yield. But at the moment it is 600%, which is insane really. That it's still high considering, it's working, it's fine. It's still high considering this has been going on for around about a week now. Moving on. It's real-time price of the synthetic asset. Now, it's going to be paired with LUSD, which is going to be the kind of native USD equivalent on the Linea exchange. And you're going to be able to pair that, and when you're staking your Linea, when you're staking your Linea tokens, you are in fact generating Linea USD or Linea USD. And you're going to be able to pair that with Linea or liquid BTC, liquid Tesla, liquid oil, etc. Now, Linea at the moment is used for staking this LUSD. Now, this is going to enable you, when you have made this enormous amount, hopefully, of LUSD, which is going to be locked up initially to act as the kind of backing of assets, you're going to be able to buy assets with this. Okay, you're going to be able to use that staked cryptocurrency to buy assets. Hence, why great time to get in now. Liquidity mining is what Linea is going to be good for as well. So essentially, it's going to be putting your liquidity in to get a yield. And then also it's got the Linea DAO. This is going to be essentially the governance aspect of Linea Exchange. It's going to be proposals, apps, and the various assets that could go on the exchange. If you are part of the governance, then you can decide what is going to be on the exchange, essentially. So good, high use case for the token utility. Now, currently, as I said, 4 million market cap. It's got, at the moment, high average percentage yield, but it's very, very new. And considering its newness, it basically opens it out to gains potential. Okay, so they've got their testnet next month and their mainnet in November. So there's two major, well, shall I say, significant roadmap items that you can make full use of, exploiting essentially before the events. Okay, so it's September now, so it's a good time, right? But it is very new and it's very low in valuation. Now, Linea is not just purely going to be the Linea exchange isn't necessarily just going to be an exchange. They are also have quite extensive products as a company. So they've got Builder, which is a dApp maker. This is to make essentially synthetic asset platforms. All right, it's huge. They're basically an Ethereum for synthetic asset platforms. They've got the Linea exchange and they've got the Linea DAO. Okay, so there are three major products. Now, they're not on any major exchanges yet. They're currently on Uniswap, Buybox, MSC, and Who. And I thought the exact same thing. Who? I've never heard of them. But anyway, they're on 4 exchanges at the moment, none of them major. And, you know, if you look at Synthetics, they're on Binance, OKX. They're on most of the main exchanges. So this is a chance to get into a Synthetics before the storm, hopefully. It has come to a 3rd page. Jeez, Super, you're shilling it today. So, the senior management come from a background of traditional finance, worked in Silicon Valley, and product design. Okay, so you will see that the experience basically reflects the quality of the platform. The CTO has senior development experience, been a senior developer for 20 years, was in crypto for a number of years. He's worked on gaming platforms, gaming blockchains, worked on Neo, EOS, and Ethereum as well. So he's got a lot of experience within blockchain. And he manages a team of 10 developers which concentrate on the user interface, smart contracts, which is everything that's you need to get involved in buying these synthetic assets, and project management. So you can see that although a new team, they're experienced and they've got relative depth in that team. I only imagine they're going to grow from this point, hopefully. Now, 80% of the tokens that were bought at private sale are locked. Okay, so at the moment the circulating supply is about 256 million tokens. Okay, now there's going to be a total supply of 10 billion. But 80% of the private sale tokens are locked up for 6 to 12 months, mainly 12 months. So what that means is this avoids dumps. Okay, this avoids big, large batches of tokens going back to the wealthy investors that got in at seed round and the private sale rounds, dumping. Okay, it's got 12 months of maturity ahead of it. And they have got a large backing. And I mean, they've got good institutional backers in this field. NGC is Neo Global Capital, Hash, Kinetic. They're massive. Okay, they really, my understanding, because I've spoken with Kinetic before, is that they really only invest in solid gold projects. And then Genesis Block are amongst the investors. So all sounds great, right? It's too great. It's too good. What is the downside? This is what I'm going to now share with you. So this is what you need to consider when you're making an investment, because it all sounds great, but all that glistens isn't necessarily gold, as I love to say. So synthetic assets are not understood by retail. I mean, if you look at, like, for instance, lending and borrowing and locking up your tokens in these platforms that do lending and borrowing, like Aave or Lend and various others, you know, like Sushi and all that, then you are understanding it pretty much immediately. Everybody knows this concept, but not many people know synthetic assets. It's not really understood by retail. I imagine that a lot of people that have invested in this didn't really know what synthetic assets were, and you know what their wider meaning is. So this is an issue. Low adoption for synthetic asset platforms, okay, because this is a new concept. This is essentially bringing a new concept into the stratosphere that enables everybody to get involved in owning assets, traditional assets. So as a result of it being new and this technology being new, the adoption at the moment is very low. You will see that with a lot of cryptocurrencies like Serum and there's so many, you know, Yearn and etc. They darted out of the blocks, Compound. You know, and at the moment, Lena has only 6x'd in value. So it's still, you know, ununderstood or misunderstood. And so therefore, this gives, again, because of that lack of understanding, as that understanding grows, it's a bit like NFTs. A lot of people didn't know what NFTs were a couple of years ago. Now there's a massive appreciation for NFT. So as the awareness grows, the lower you're in, the better you can grow with the platform. So I see it as a benefit, but there is low adoption, so it's a risk. It's only 2 months old, this project. It's unproven. They've got no real reputation in blockchain. Okay, you don't have like, you know, CZ, who used to work for OKCoin, you know, working in a quite big company in cryptocurrency already. You know, these guys are relatively unproven. They're based in Hong Kong, but they're relatively unproven. They're building their reputation at the moment. So it's like with everything, it's a risk. It's the risk you've got to absorb for the potential reward. And then synthetics is already out there and already a market leader. It's almost like, well, why invest in a like-for-like product? Well, I'll give you a really good example of that. Band Protocol and Chainlink. Okay, Chainlink is a Goliath. Band Protocol is a like-for-like. And as a result of that, it surged. It's been an 88x this year. Because it's purely just like Chainlink, okay? Because it deals with the whole Oracle space. So having a market leader is actually a good thing because it shows proof of concept. And, there aren't many other synthetic asset platforms, which means that, being second to a market leader is not a bad thing. And they've already got $69 million locked into the synthetics platform for synthetic asset trading. So it just goes to show that although there's low adoption at the moment, there is adoption. Okay, this is something that has a wider utility, and this is something that could really disrupt banks' services. And then there's the Ethereum gas fees and delays. Now, if you've gotten involved in the staking, you will have seen that there are fees involved in the staking. When you are interacting with the Ethereum blockchain, there are fees, there's congestion, there's delays. Okay, these are things that do kind of, I suppose, compromise the user experience. But they are looking to move to Binance Smart Chain, which I think is a very good move and shows technological kind of expertise in their team. So I like that. So this is what I see as the major flaws, and they are flaws at the end of the day, but it all depends on how you look at it. So my final verdict is, on this platform, it is 4 stars out of 5. Why? Because of high potential. Okay, this has high potential. It's not a guaranteed moneymaker, it's not a guaranteed moonshot, but it has high potential to be that. So, the strengths that I see is that it's DeFi. DeFi is the trend right now. DeFi is what everybody wants to get involved in, and they need to get involved in products that really push finance to all and financial services, traditional finance services to all. This does that. It's got gains potential. The token has utility. They've got an experienced team. They've got high average annual percentage yield, and they have got good backing by VCs. Now, VCs that I've seen in there, like NGC, they really don't get involved in crap. I know this. I mean, they do. Every single institutional investment group does get the occasional, dog with fleas. But, sometimes they get real gold mines as well. And this could be one of them. Weaknesses is age is very new. The adoption is quite low at the moment. The knowledge of it is quite low at the moment. And the uniqueness. There is synthetics out there. So, there we are. So, am I investing? Yes. I mean, I have already invested. So, yeah, there we are. And my personal strategy is to hodl this, particularly through the roadmap items, particularly through the exchange launch, and through the governance launch as well. All of these things will add value to it down the line, in my personal opinion. So, now that I have covered all bases, let's see what you guys are saying and what you guys think of this. Are you interested? Are you ready? In this platform, in Lena, the Lena, linear Lena, not the other Lena that is on there for some stupid reason. Encoding overload. Jesus, there's just too much. There's just too much brilliance coming out here. Can't help it. Anyway, so let's just have a look at some of the little vital stats. So these are what you'll be able to invest in, essentially. Crypto assets, commodities, market, those traditional stock markets, esports. This is a new area that is expanding, and there are tradable opportunities in there. And sustainability, basically companies that are driving sustainability with technology, like for instance the power ledgers and all that. So this is like eco-friendly companies, I guess, like Tesla. So with those in mind, here's Builder. So a decentralized application for managing liquid assets, essentially, coming soon. Then you've got the linear exchange. Now, as you can see here, kind of, you've got the LBTC, LUSD, LF, and then you've got, that's the crypto market, then you've got commodities and then indices. So it looks very good. This kind of looks a little bit like, Libra or whatever that Facebook will bring out. Very, very simple, minimalistic, and easy to understand design. And then you have got the Linear DAO, which is the governance of the Linear platform, essentially. So, a lot of potential token value. So, yes or no? Yes or no? Already invested? Loving the staking rewards? Yes, I'm in. Yes. Buy, buy, buy! It's great. Unable to find Linear on Uniswap. You can find it, but it is paired with USDT. And I think you can also get it with Uni as well. Did you stake your Lena? Yes, I did. Linear's the new slam dunk. So I hope that you really understood this. Can you also let me know that in the comments right now? Did you understand what I essentially presented to you? Okay, I tried to do it in as layman's terms as possible, and hopefully it is understandable when you kind of simplify it down to what it's really about. Any questiones at the same time? Yes, thank you, Dane. Jason says yes. Lisa Marie says yes, thank you. Oh, Mohammed Halawani is here. I haven't seen you since 1986, it feels like. Shane, yes. 880, ye old Supo man. Karen Westgate, yes, definitely great video. Crypto Chrissy, absolutely understandable. Thank the Lord, essentially. So, any questions? Any questions? I try to keep these, although live streams used to be quite long for me. Basically, the longer you stay on a live stream, the more people will join. But I want to make this kind of not too long. And if you haven't, by the way, Josh is here. Joshua Taka Oka. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Lindsay's here. Looking good. Great info. Thank you. Excellent. This is lovely. If you haven't yet, smash up the likes. There's only 42 likes now. Make sure that you smash them up. Crypto Preaching Predro. It's basically great to see Team Supo here. Basically great. But everybody is welcome to join Team Supo. The Team Supo of old. Good to see you back on here twice a week. Yes, Linz. Very true. You gotta take, a month off, 2 in a week. Yeah, you just gotta hope I make another one, and maybe another 2 in the next week. Otherwise, it could temper out, and it'll be another month. Emmanuel Super, you are back. Yes. Hair on point. Thank you very much. Anyway, 70 likes now. Excellent. That is more like it, peeps. That is more like it. Smash the likes up in appreciation. Anyway, so if there are no more questions... Oh, Angie, you're here. Good to see you. I knew there were some people that said they were going to be here and they were not saying something. Say something. Carl has already bought. Have to kind of allow for the fact that people may be behind. So, yes. There we are. BPCAF Crusader. Great pick as usual. Quality over quantity. Yes, I agree. Yeah, you watch a lot of these YouTubers and they're like, 5 coins that will do really well this week, and then you never hear from those coins again. And then there's another new 5 coins and then another few 5 coins. And these are great for pump and dumps, but not necessarily good for people doing long-term holding. But I'm thinking that during this period, whilst, cryptocurrencies are pretty low, it's 1.8 now. 1.8 cents. While cryptocurrencies are pretty low, this is a pretty good time, I think, to pick up stuff, because you don't necessarily know when that US dollar is going to start depreciating, and then the traditional assets, which I've just been talking about. You see what I did there? A very, very tenuous link. Essentially, traditional assets will go up again. But what I will say is that what I've seen in... oh, by the way, I have linked this explanation, this Cointelegraph. Not that really want to be sharing other crypto outlets, but if you want to understand a little bit more about synthetic assets, then there is a link in the description that will allow you to read through this. But anyway, as I was just saying, this is a great time potentially to be getting in. You never know when that US dollars could go down. So man, where can we view the rewards? There is a link, but I know that they're going to be. I think that Linear Finance are going to be providing a link so that you can view your staking rewards as of next week. I believe. Although there is a link at the moment. Yes, we all know he's handsome, huh? Thanks for bringing the sunshine. There is no real sunshine here in the UK. It's very much autumnal weather at the moment. So, yeah, so no sunshine for us. It's not Florida here, unfortunately. But I personally like it. I myself am a winter baby, so I love the early, getting dark early and getting a bit colder. And even when it's sunny, it's like crispy coldness still. By the way, people, if you haven't already, and I want to thank you, by the way, if there's a link in the description for this for $9.99, not $189.99. So essentially shaves off 180 quid or $180 off of this price. But since, some of you lovely people have got this course, I have seen that the rating has gone up to 4.1, where it was 3.8 because there were a bunch of morons who I probably banned or something that had downgraded my course purely for that reason, not because of the quality, and I suffered as a result. So I really thank you if you have rated the course and if you've put a nice little feedback comment. But you can get this for $9.99 essentially and learn everything about DeFi, because what Superman likes to do is I like to let you know about the wider picture. It's not just about yield farming. It's not just about this is the current trend like ICOs. This is about what does this mean from a point of view of cryptocurrency becoming a mass market tool. I've been badgering on for 3 years now about cryptocurrency being essentially Internet 3.0, the birth of a new technology, and like with the early 90s, it takes a little bit of time for people to understand it, for there to be any usable utility for the mass market. And at the moment, the real utility is as an investment tool. But DeFi actually brings, the services that the unbanked have no access to the unbanked. So I would really recommend that you look at this and you understand it, because then that'll allow you to understand why the trend is so popular and how you can maximize returns. Any other Sphinx? Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate that. It's freezing in the UK. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's freezing. I can definitely see the trees moving in a quite slow but romantic way, which I love. Linear price prediction. You know me and price predictions. Price predictions are essentially something that I do not personally love because of how much shite I get for it. But what I will say is that if you look at synthetics, just in its current state, this is 100x potential without the actual adoption being there. Hold on a minute. Let me just get rid of some spastic. See ya. Supo is the best in the industry. Facts. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Martin, for still being a fan. Never said a word, but I got banned from his Twitter. No, that just doesn't happen. Right? I don't make mistakes. I am, unfortunately, like one of the downside stroke benefits of being, I suppose, quite loyalty driven is that I like the people that watch me getting value out of it, and I get their support, I suppose, in exchange, which is a lovely thing. But what I absolutely loathe is when people just kind of use you and then slag you off on Twitter, or when somebody puts something on Twitter saying, oh, Superman's a shiller or a scammer, or you did this wrong, you got this coin wrong, when I didn't, and then they like a comment from somebody like that, I just ban them, because I just got no time for negative people in my life. That's just how I am. And the drawback of that, I suppose, is the backlash occasionally. Any other things? This has to get to 100 million, surely. Well, it could and should, and if it does, that's a 20x from its current point, if not just a little bit more than that. Yeah, it's 22x, I guess. So yeah, but I guess one of the major, things in its that helps and hinders it is not being available on major exchanges. Once this goes on something like Binance or OKX, then I imagine that the price will go up significantly and the availability is much easier. But I remember back in the early Wild Wild West days, 2017, when you had, Bitcoins coming out on Coin Exchange, or one of those exchanges no longer exists, right? And it's the same here. It's on the minor exchanges. This is where the volume largely is, actually. MXC, then Buybox, then Uniswap. So there are other places. But at the moment, you can only really get it with USDT and Ethereum. So, yeah. But, you know, as you can see... What the hell is this? Thank you, Martin. That's insane. $49.99. What a legend. Anyway, that's incredible. Lisa Marie is dancing to Pussycat Dolls. Oh, that's not shown. I will actually show that one. Anyway, I don't want to be around too long. If you haven't yet already, make sure that you smash up the like. Make sure you do something to counteract the morons that put dislike, because they are just morons. And I will see you next time, Team Soups. It is lights out. Yeah. Let me just get OBS Studio up. There I am. Hello. Right. It is lights out. All out. Adios, peeps. Mwah.